Good evening, guys. I'm probably going to talk about the most interesting topic you guys have ever come to see at Startup Night at Hatch, and that's going to be bugs. I am with Accurid Pest Solutions, and we are a full-service pest control company servicing the Southside Peninsula, Western Tidewater area. Just kind of give you guys a little bit of background about myself, how I got involved in pest control. I'm originally from New Jersey. In New Jersey, I work for a company called Cooper Pest Solutions. They are on the top 100 list of all pest control companies across the country. So in order for a company to be a part of this list, they have to be doing at least $5 million in annual revenue. Cooper Pest Solutions is number 70 on the list, and these guys currently are probably doing, I think to date, about $15 to $18 million annually in revenue. As a part of their team, one of the significant members of a part of that team is Dr. Richard Cooper. This is going to be boring to you guys. You guys are going to have no clue who he is, but in our industry, he's one of the top guys in our industry. He's the third highest ranked entomologist across the, not just the nation, but globally. He's actually done work in China and some other overseas countries regarding bed bug work. So he's one of the highly sought after and highly regarded people in our industry. Also, Jeff White, he's also an entomologist. He also works for Cooper Pest Solutions. If any of you guys are bug geeks like me, there was a show, hit TV show on Animal Planet called Infested. And this show came on weekly, and Jeff White was the entomologist who was their expert. And these are gentlemen that I actually work with personally. I work with them, train with them side by side for 5 years each. And the CEO of the company, Phil Cooper, Phil is also an author, and one of the books that he's written is actually on customer service, and that book is called What Plus Wow Equals. The book is How Plus What Equals Wow, and that book is basically on customer service and how to increase your customer service, and increasing your customer service, you'll increase the customers that you get and retain. So that's how I got involved and started my own company, but I worked for these guys for 5 years. I lived in New Jersey. I transitioned into Virginia, and rather than work a job, I started my own company, which was Accurid Pest Solutions, basically taking that knowledge that I learned personally from these top guys in the industry. I'm still friends with them today. They're consultants on my business. I still contact them very often. And I'm actually still trained by them. I go back to New Jersey. I spend thousands of dollars to sit in their training courses because they're not going to do it for free, even though we're good friends. But I'm constantly updating my knowledge in the pest control industry. All right, I launched my company Accurid in 2005. I moved from New Jersey. And since inception, so not annually, but since inception, we've done over $2.3 million, and that's gross. For the first 6 years, I personally stagnated my growth, and I'll give you guys the reason why. I was actually involved in a personal matter that kind of hindered the business, and I didn't want my business to grow because I was in a situation where I may not have had full ownership of the company, and I had to solidify that first. So I waited until that was done. That was officially done in 2010. In 2010, the boots came off and I started running. So most of that 2.3 million came from 2010 to 2016. Okay. Today, we do just under $500,000 annually. We are debt-free, so we owe no one. The only bills that we have are our recurring bills, and we are profitable. So we are, with that, just under $500,000 a year, we're a profitable company. Some of our most notable clients that we do have or had in the past was the City of Newport News. We've been servicing them over 10 years now. Portsmouth Housing Authority, Norfolk Housing Authority, Franklin, Portsmouth Public Schools, the City of Franklin. A lot of you guys stand in line at the DMV. We're the guys that keep the bugs out of there. Thomas Nelson Community College, Wells Fargo, Verizon, Hampton Roads Transit, and VDOT. All right, so a little bit about our company summary. Our premier package, and this is something that we're really promoting and pushing right now, is our residential quarterly service. So basically we have set up a model that is recurring. So we wanted to implement a recurring model where we constantly had revenue coming into the company consistently with our clients. We didn't necessarily have to go out and get a bunch of new clients with the same clients. We can consistently have that revenue base coming in. We're one of the only companies in this area that provides a guarantee with our service. So if you guys pay us to get rid of those bugs, we're going to guarantee that we're going to do what you guys are paying us to do, and that's get rid of those bugs. We've streamlined this, and this is something that we had challenges with in the past, but this has certainly been corrected, and it's certainly helped our cash flow. Currently, to date, we don't do any net billing. We don't do any net 30 billing or any of our customers. All of our clients are automated through their billing process, either through credit card or checking account. There are a handful of customers that they're not in the 21st century, so they don't have a banking account or a credit card, and those clients actually have to pay at the time of service. So we don't have any past dues anymore. There's no collections. All that stuff has been streamlined and automated through either ACH or automatic debiting from the credit card. Some of the additional service that we have, and these are services that we can upsell to existing customers, are our termite baiting, which is very popular in this area. We happen to be in one of the areas, the state of Virginia, third largest state with the termite damage throughout the nation. So it's not if you have termites, it's when you're going to get them and how extensive that damage is going to be. So that's very, very popular for us right now. And also bed bug prevention. We have a really awesome bed bug prevention and monitoring program in place right now. You guys have probably heard the horror stories. People travel, people come visit you, and they kind of leave, but the bugs kind of stay behind. So that's been significant for us, particularly putting in place monitoring services where customers may not have them, but they want to know the instant they do, and they want to be able to eliminate them before they become a problem. And that's been one of our most popular selling packages right now as well. And also fungus control and moisture control. Again, goes back to the geographical area that we're in, just being such a wetland and swampy land here in this part of Virginia. All right, so our company website is www.accuridpest.com. Our home office is actually centrally located right on 58. If you guys are familiar with the Hampton Roads Regional Airport, we actually have a complete building inside of that facility. And we actually chose that location because it's centrally located to all the major interstates. 58 is right there. You also have 264, 664, 464. They're all centrally, and 64, actually all located in that interchange. So our drivers can come in the early part of the day, they can get their work, their chemical, and we can actually get to just about any part of Hampton Roads, the Peninsula, or Western Tidewater within minutes. All right, so the question may be, why start up with Hatch? Why are you here today? In this tech-savvy world, you know, many of us, I do it myself, we can pick up our phone, we can go to an app, we can request a product or service, and before we blink, literally that product or service is at our door. And in some cases, if it's a lawn care service or if it's a exterior cleaning service, it's a person that we don't really know. This is just a person that that company's sending to us. Our research shows that when you're dealing with in-home services, particularly dealing with your most precious commodity, your children, your pets, people prefer someone they know. They prefer people that they know, they trust, and gives them peace of mind. That's something that we consider our secret sauce, so to speak, because we make sure that our customers are seeing the same technician every time that they're scheduled. And believe it or not, a lot of the major companies don't follow that system anymore. And that's why we're getting most of our customers from the top tier companies, because every time that that customer requests a service, it's a completely different technician. And that's really, really bad put off for those particular clients. And that's our fastest growing market right now is the residential demographic, mainly because, again, those customers aren't getting the same technicians each time. Over the last year, over 30% of our new residential customers came from those top tier companies. And we kind of interview every customer that comes from a different company. We want to know why they chose us, why they left the previous company. And over 30% of them said They were just tired of seeing a different face every time their service was scheduled. They wanted someone that knew them, knew their kids, knew their home, knew their problem, and they didn't want to have to do background checks again on a new person coming into their home. So that's something that we guaranteed, is that they'll see the same technician. We do the background check, we do the drug testing, and we make sure that you're going to get someone you're comfortable with each and every time that service is needed. The other thing about Virginia, and particularly this area, geographically, this area traditionally has longer springs and summers than your northern states. So our spring and summer and basically our warmer months would go from March typically to about October. I mean, we're in October now and we're still having 80-degree days. So maybe not so good for everyone else, good for us, because the bugs are robust, the bugs are continuing to populate, and the bugs are continuing to enter structures, which keeps us busy for most of the year. At least 10 to 11 months of the year, we're extremely busy getting rid of pests out of people's homes and businesses. So what do we need for growth? Additional resources for marketing across all platforms, traditional, non-traditional. Some of the non-traditional ways of marketing has actually been a lot more beneficial for us than your traditional, the direct mail and things of that nature. So a lot of social media, we try to really engage through those platforms, and not just putting stuff out saying, hey, we're here, we're Accurid, try our service, but we really try to engage. We try to give tips, we try to have little fun contests where we want our clients, Halloween's coming up, so we have something on our social media platform where we want our clients to show us those crazy bug costumes for the dogs, the kids, and the children, and that sort of gets the conversation going. Higher marketing budgets will also allow us to increase our brand awareness and acquire new customers. So that's one thing that we want to do as well. We've been here in this area for 10 years, but there's still a lot of people who don't know who we are and haven't heard of us. So we want to make sure that we're increasing that marketing budget so we can increase our brand awareness and introduce ourselves to those communities who haven't heard about us. Scaling up would also help us increase our efficiency through our back-end and front-end client support services. So by scaling up, it allows us to be more engaged on the front end of acquiring those customers, and also on the back end with QA and things of that nature, making sure that we are providing the service that the customer's paying us for, making sure they're happy with that service, and also finding out if there's other additional services that they'd like us to add to that, so we can make sure we're always accommodating and meeting that client's need. Additional sales staff and marketing, and also acquisition of smaller customers that are companies that are retiring out. The majority of the pest control companies in this area are made up of 4 to 6 man operations. You do have your larger tier companies like Orkin and Terminex who have hundreds, if not thousands, of employees, but most of the pest control companies in this area have 4 to 6 employees. Those are the companies in the future that we're going to be looking to buy out. You do have owners who are getting up in age who don't have children, they don't have anyone partnered with them, and rather than just close that business out, they'd like to sell that business. So those are some of the companies that we'd like to acquire in the future as well moving forward. And opportunities for growth. Our opportunities for growth basically are directly related to our upsell services to our existing customers. One of the services that we like to actually push a little bit more is our exclusion service. That's basically where we come inside of a home. You guys have rodents or large animals getting inside of the home. We can actually identify all those possible entry points, and we can seal them up for an additional cost. Again, we mentioned the termite baiting area earlier. That's very popular, the bed bug prevention and monitoring service. Crawl space encapsulation is very, very popular today. A lot of clients don't want to deal with the hassle of having someone come in and treat the crawl space for mold and fungus and all these other things. What they want to do is what's called a total encapsulation. So we would come in, completely seal off every crack and crevice in that crawl space so that there's nothing that can get in, nothing that can get out, and that also controls the moisture level in that crawl space as well. For those who don't want to spend the money with the crawl space encapsulation, we can control it through other moisture devices such as commercial dehumidifiers that also helps control the moisture in the crawl space. Another one of our upsell opportunities is wood destroying beetle treatments. That's also in the crawl space, and also fungus treatments, which would also be in the crawl space as well. All right, so what is our competitive advantage? Are there any sports fans in here? All right, so we got some sports fans. You guys are going to know what I'm talking about. When your favorite team, Super Bowl Sunday, they go out, it's the last game, and they score that last touchdown within 10 minutes. And you guys are very, very excited. Or you have that basketball player who hits that buzzer beater shot. Or you have that golf star who hits that eagle shot, and no one else is around, but he's the only one that knows he hit that eagle shot, and he's very, very excited. That's how our guys feel when we eliminate a pest problem inside of a home. It's all about passion. A lot of the larger companies, Terminix, Orkin, they have a lot of money that they can put towards advertising and marketing and promoting their brand and their company. But one thing that you cannot do with the money is build the passion within your employees. And that's been our secret sauce, and that's why we were able to grow and sustain over this amount of time, is because our guys really, really, really get excited about eliminating pest issues inside of residential homes and also commercial properties. The other thing is we make sure that we give them the same technician every single time. A lot of our technicians are invited to bar mitzvahs. A lot of them are invited to recitals and weddings. Because they build that relationship over time, they almost become family. I mean, it's really a bond with the person that's coming to get rid of the pest in your home or business. And ongoing training. We're really sticklers when it comes to training. We actually train our guys every single Monday. We have a Monday morning meeting for an hour where we're touching on pests that are prevalent at that particular point in time of the year. And once a month, we go a little bit more in depth, so that hour stretches out to 3 hours. And then once a quarter, we have a half a day training where we pull the guys off the road. And then once a year, it's a full day of training. And usually we pack everyone up, we go up to New Jersey, and those experts that we talked about earlier, we spend the week with those guys up there being trained on any type of new technology, new chemical, new devices, or different habits in pest populations and things like that. And typically we are 20% less than all the top tier companies. I didn't speak about that first because it's not necessarily about the cost or the price, it's about the value that they get. All right, some of our competitors, again, Terminix, Orkin, Dotson Brothers. Again, their strengths are name recognition. And the only other one that we found that had a real high favorable rate was Dotson Brothers. They're reliable, and they typically send out the same technician. The weaknesses are across the board. They have low client and low employee retention. They're very expensive, and their reservices are very, very high because they're sending different technicians. They have a lot of reservices. Our target market typically are women between the ages of 27 to 45, home value between $250,000 to $450,000, and medium household income between $65,000 and $250,000. Property managers, that's a real big target market for us. People that either manage apartment complexes, residential properties, or commercial properties as well. Small to mid-sized companies, real estate agents, condo, townhouse communities, and apartment complexes. Our sales and marketing strategy is basically, again, to single-family homes. That's the area that we're really trying to promote and push at this particular time. Neighborhood groups, through our social media platforms, our existing clients. We have a really phenomenal way of acquiring new customers through existing clients. Rewards program, traditional media, sales teams, and direct sales. And we are at the end, so we can certainly take some questions if you guys have that.
So how do you approach somebody or deal with a client that, or a potential client that has bugs that doesn't really know they're there? Do you guys like you said, it's not if you have permits, it's when.
Right, right.
So is there any sort of service or anything like that that you offer that for people who are, unaware of a potential bug problem, or, like it's like if I don't know I have bugs, how do I know to call you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Or like I'm probably gonna have bugs, but it's more costly for me to call you instead, if I pay a small fee a month that you guys come once a month and just do maintenance, or like what sort of things do you have like that?
Right. So what we do, and that's actually a good question, what we do is we actually do a free inspection for all first-time customers. With that free inspection, we're actually one of the only companies that I'm aware of that utilizes technology with that. So during our inspection, we'll come in and we actually take pictures of anything that we see in the crawl space, on the outside of the house, and inside of the house. There's pictures that are done, there are moisture readings, there's measurements that are done. All that information is actually emailed to the client within 24 hours. And we kind of go over what we find. And let's say in that case we don't find any pests, but we find that there's an environment that that's conducive to pests in that area. So we'll suggest a monitoring or prevention service, which is very low cost and low maintenance, versus that client waiting years down the road and then kind of paying the price later on.
So since you do use technology in the kind of assessment, is there any like technology that you guys can or do implement that something like installing moisture sensors? I mean, I don't know what's out there, right? But it's like, are there ways for people, as IoT devices become more and more popular, are there things in this in this area where you can install things in people's homes that are kind of technological monitoring, tracking, sort of data gathering devices?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'll just give you an example. We have clients where we monitor rodents. We have clients that their largest pest problem is rats, mice, squirrels, that sort of thing. So when we have traps that are placed out, and the traps have a device attached to it. And when there's movement in that trap, and we've actually caught a rat, a mouse, that device sends a signal to our computer system, and it gives us that address. So it'll tell us that that specific address, trap number 5, triggered, and there's something in that trap. So we can actually let the technician know that he has to go out and retrieve that trap and install a new trap at that location.
And,
Yeah.
and also maybe kind of monitor it. If you have one, maybe there's 3 or 5 or more.
Right. So what happens is when we install those traps, they're all numbered. So let's say we install 5 traps. Each trap is numbered. So when one is triggered, it comes back to the computer system. It'll actually tell us which trap triggered. So it'll say number 1 or through 5. I didn't have them now, but after the meeting, I can certainly pull it up on the computer, and I can show you guys what that looks like. Mm-hmm.
Do you guys, so you guys, like you said recently with your social media, you're having customers, post like it's Halloween time, right? So
Right.
all that fun stuff. But do you ever do, I forget what show it is, but some like animal hunting show. But so like on your Instagram, do you ever post like the craziest bug infestation of the week, or do you guys ever highlight the kind of good, bad, other things that you find? I mean, that's like something pretty interesting, Yeah, like the girl on YouTube, she like is that.
Well, I'll say yes and no to that. We do come across some really, really weird and really crazy, really terrible infestations. So to protect our customers' privacy, what we'll do is if we can zoom into that infestation, those things we do post online, but we will not show the property, for obvious reasons. Right, absolutely.
That's great, Accurid. Got solutions.
Thank you, guys.